Hey guys, AJ Gore here, ePoseidon.com. Gonna go through how to rig up an Alabama rig, or even a umbrella rig, as some of you might know it. Got this Mad Bite umbrella or Alabama rig, like we were saying here. Gonna go ahead and get it open and rig it up for those of you who may have any questions. At least this is how I do it. So just tear this guy open here, pull this thing out. Maybe I can get it out of the package. Alright, so got a nice little head here. Of course, you're going to want to tie your line there. I like to use like a 50-pound braided. You're going to want to have a real medium to heavy action rod, about a 7.5 foot rod. 50-pound braid is fantastic for this. You could probably get away with 30-pound braid, but when you're throwing some really aggressive casts, you do not want to snap off a fairly expensive rig like this can be. It's when you buy it through ePoseidon, you're going to get a great quality rig for half the price you would at any other retail store or even some of the other stores online. You're going to spend a fraction for the braid, you're going to spend a fraction for your jig head here and for your baits. But still, even if you did lose this rig, it still costs money. So definitely don't cheap online. Get a good heavy line, at least 50 pound is what I would say, so it can handle that. Okay, so let's get to rigging. What I like to do is kind of go ahead and spread my umbrella rig out there and kind of get it in the form that I want. What this is going to do is mimic a school of bait fish, like minnows or shad most commonly. So you can go ahead and pull this out. And I really already like the way this Mad Bite lure looks. It comes with a nice little ring on it. That way whenever you go to store it, you can run this ring down. I've had other brands that don't have that, and they typically want you to rubber band it, or you got this giant mess in your rod locker. That's a little bit of a nightmare to deal with. So that's a nice little feature that you get with the Mad Bite from ePoseidon. So we go ahead and got it flared out, and it's going to start taking shape here in a minute. So let's go ahead and get some jig heads. Maybe a little bit deeper dive. I'm going to go with just a simple light jig head here. I'm going to need 5. So I got 5 simple jig heads. Now you can go with other style jig heads. You can go with, some jig heads that are painted, got eyes on them, different actions, whatever you feel like. That's actually going to help the strike there a little more. Makes it look a little more realistic. But these should still do just fine. So you just go ahead and start to rig these guys on, like so. Just like that. And then you're going to want to go ahead and get after your little bait fish here. This is another product you can get from ePoseidon, some capture lures here. This is a really nice little soft swim bait. That's really going to give you a great action here. It's going to mimic some little shad or minnows. Just rig that sucker through. It's got a nice eye there. That should really attract some fish. Get you a big old fat bass. And run that guy up on your jig head. And just go ahead and rig them all up. Before you know it, this thing will take shape. Just want to run your minnow all the way up to the end of the jig head. That's going to help hold it on there a little better. Granted, it may take a couple attempts to go ahead and get it on there straight. Patience is always key. And there you go. That's for the most part how you rig up an Alabama or an umbrella rig. And this is going to swim through the water and mimic a school of bait fish. You can spread them out, change them, bend them however you want, give it a little bit of flair, and change your action. And again, I recommend rigging this up on a heavy braided line. You could probably use a heavy monofilament. I just have had the best luck with braided line. It's going to stand up to the torture a lot better. Has a lot stronger capabilities and tensile strength as opposed to standard monofilament. Tie it on. Medium and heavy action rod. You can use a spinning reel or a bait caster. So, and then again, with your storage, if you're going to go ahead and contain these guys in a rod locker, you've got that little keeper ring here. You can run that down. And that keeps it stored pretty nice. And that is how I rig an Alabama or an umbrella rig. Check these products out at www.eposeidon.com.